What is up, guys? Today, this isn't necessarily going to be a Payday gameplay video. Well, of course, as you can see, I will be playing Payday. But this is going to be a start of a new series where they're, quote, educational videos, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to, talk about different topics, I guess. I don't know. And so, so, for example, today's topic is going to be, why some adults and elders think video games are a waste of time today. So, all of these answers are going to be personal based on my experience. So, today, why elders think that video games are a waste of time. Just games such as, well, they probably haven't heard of Payday, but games like GTA and everything, like controversial games like that. They think it's a waste of time because they think you just run around shooting people. They don't understand the story that actually goes, the story and the time that the developers actually put into making it. So, that's why, that's my reasoning on why they don't understand it. But, we're gonna expand a little more on this topic. And, why younger adults, not necessarily elders, don't understand, because mostly they have the same reason, that, oh, you just shoot people, what's the point in that? Like, in Call of Duty, the campaign actually does have a rather awesome storyline in almost every Call of Duty. Some have been a bit shaky, but they've all been pretty decent. But they just see the multiplayer aspect of COD and think, oh, you just run around shooting people, but there's the leveling system and everything. Again, the time that goes into it, of course, yes, shooting FPS games, shooting obviously is an part of the game, but there's more than that. I mean, I'm sorry, I just can't talk right now. I promise I'll get better as I continue with these, but they don't understand what actually has to go into it for the developers, and I don't mean this to sound offensive in any way, but they're still stuck in their age, meaning they're like, oh, why can't all games just be like Mario or Tetris? And I'm not putting those games down. Those are great games. I enjoy them very much, and even still today. But they see all the kids playing these games, and they hear on the news, oh, kid kills his parents after playing, kid shoots his grandmother after playing Grand Theft Auto. Now, that is not true. It is never because of a game. Every time you hear that, just think that's BS, because it is. Games are never the cause for violence, unless they're delayed and they're anticipated. Then that could cause some violence. But, anyway, sorry, I just choked on my spit for some reason. Games that they think shooting, killing people, all that. They think let's talk about GTA, considering that's a very controversial game. They think that all you do is just kill cops, right? Well, no, because killing civilians and cops, the police will come after you. They get quite upset, and it's really not a good thing to do. Free roaming is a lot better, because even on the news, I remember a while back, they said a game where you were rewarded for killing killing policemen. That is not true. At the most, it is highly discouraged for killing them, because then they'll come after you and they just get flat out annoying. And so, that's where they're wrong. They're putting these games down on purpose, and I tell that the main purpose of this about elders is kind of switching to just people overall, I guess. They think that games are just you shoot people and that's all that happens. Well, no. Considering, like I said, years of development and storyline go into these games, and so that's why, like, GTA 5, this game has made the most money out of any video game of all time. I mean, it is one of I think 800 million in a day does say something about it. Now, I honestly do expect to hear quite a bit of stories on the news about violence from this particular title, but I just dismiss it and say they have no idea what they're talking about, and because they don't, obviously. If they knew what they were talking about, they would never have to think about the stories or blame what the person did on the game. And although it is okay, so now I'm shifting this part. If the kids are blamed for having it, then don't you think that the parents should obviously see, oh, it's rated M for mature. My child is not if you feel your child is not mature, then they shouldn't have the game. Make them wait a few years. Make them prove it to you that they deserve it. You just need to make sure that the child knows the difference between digital life and reality. Now, it's for a child like me growing up, I'm a very realistic person, so I obviously do know the difference. I know the difference between digital and real. That's why you're never gonna hear any stories about me going out and shooting up a hospital or something. I don't know, jewelry store. You're never gonna hear anything about that on any person that plays these games. They're just gonna be, and they blame the video games, yet the person is mentally unstable. No, even I remember on like the Sandy Hook shooter, they didn't really publish it, but the topic of video games did come up a lot. They did think about saying that, and that just disgusts me. I mean, people don't understand that video games are such an adventure, and they say, why would you even want to play games like GTA? It's an escape for things that we can't do. And the fact that we can't do that distinguishes it so that we know not to do it. But some people just aren't right in their head. They're a bit unstable, and so they think, oh, it's okay, it's just a game. Life is just a game. It's okay to do this when it's perfectly unacceptable. In a perfect world, massacres and shootings would never happen. But we're not in a perfect world. People need to understand that. And basically, what my point is that video games have never led to violence. Never, in any case. Unless, like I said, unless they're delayed and they're highly anticipated, they've never led to violence. Purposeful violence, at least. Okay, let me talk about this. There is a video published on YouTube from a camera phone, probably an iPhone or something, and it was where I haven't watched the video yet. I'll probably go check it out later. But what I know from it is that it was it was a GameStop employee and a customer getting into a dispute because the customer wouldn't show the GameStop employee's ID to validate his pre-order for GTA 5 at the midnight launch. I don't know what city this was in or what, but I just know it happened. He got into a little fight. The police were called. It was okay, right? So why is it a big deal? Now, they're saying it's a big deal because, don't smack me. Do you know who you're dealing with? They're saying it's a big deal because, they're saying, oh, it's the anticipation of the game. It made the person act out. Well, I have to admit that could be a very small part of it, but, oh, Jesus. But, no, that is not an acceptable excuse for it. You just need to say the person was impatient and they wouldn't show their ID, because, I mean, you're supposed to have your ID when you drive. It's your driver's license. You get pulled over, you have to show it to a police officer. But, that is not the game's fault. That is the person's just being stupid and having their stupidity. And, yeah, so, I just don't understand why games are being blamed for all this. They have done essentially nothing to harm anybody. And there's this kid that said, like, and I remember a newspaper headline that was something like, kid disables, like high wires or something, like power lines that hang above ground, and he said he learned it from GTA, from Grand Theft Auto. And while I haven't completely played GTA, but while you can, I'm not even sure if you can really mess with power lines. I could be completely wrong, I don't know, but triggering wire. Okay. And then so I guess that's not the game's fault. Again, that's the kid's fault for wanting to go out and disable power lines. Again, we come back to distinguishing reality and digital life. You just don't do some stuff that happens digitally. You just think, oh, well, of course I can never do this in real life. Oh, well, of course I can only do this in this game, not in real life. And if people aren't able to distinguish that, then they shouldn't be able to purchase the game. I know it's almost impossible to, like, and it would be very difficult to, like, have a test saying, oh, can you distinguish reality from the digital game? You know, they're obviously not going to invest in that, because I really don't see how they would pull that off. And, so sometimes it just frustrates me that people have to blame video games on these things that obviously isn't the game's fault. And so, that's just kind of what I'm getting at. And, so yeah, that's my personal opinion. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and this new series. Please don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. Thank you.